Hey guys, welcome to my week 1 update of the Artist Way. So if you don't know, I'm doing the Artist Way 12-week challenge. If you want more info, you can watch my previous video. I did my morning pages every day of the week and I actually really enjoy doing them. Since I took a break, I felt very rejuvenated and fresh, and I find myself being excited to do my morning pages and I have a lot of energy for them. I was really enjoying them this week and I really hope that energy stays with me. I did my Artist Day this week. After I got my nails done, I went to go thrift at Value Village and I ended up buying my skirt that I wore for my birthday dinner yesterday, and it felt weird to be there on my own because I usually never go thrifting alone, so it felt weird to be on my own, but also like I was getting out of my comfort zone and practicing using a muscle that hasn't been used in a long time. That's kind of what it felt like, and I'm excited to get to the point where it's normal for me to do things alone and it's just a regular day. It's not something kind of scary or kind of out of my comfort zone. As for the tasks, I had to write down 3 old enemies of my creative self-worth, which was kind of hard to think about because I feel like I haven't had any outright enemies. Like, I haven't had any people who have outwardly bashed my work or my art or anything, so that was kind of hard, but I had to dig deep and then I did end up finding something. And then I had to also write down 3 champions of my creative self-worth, and this was also kind of difficult because I feel like as creatives we're used to people saying I love your work. It doesn't feel like real, kind of like it feels more surface level, and to have someone engaging with your work in a deeper sense rather than just saying I love your work is more rare, and those are the people that really make an impact in my opinion. But that was nice because I got to reflect on those positive experiences and I really had to dig deep in that, which is good because the more you're thinking about those positive experiences, the more you're deepening those channels and the more easier it becomes to think of them again in the future. I actually went to a co-crit, so like a critique night, which was really fun and it was a good experience. It was very out of my comfort zone, but it was nice to have my work up there and for other people to look at it from an outside perspective, and I definitely got some good insights based on that. I wish I could have had more time and more insights, but I'm sure everyone felt that way, and it was a great experience to meet other creatives and to expose myself and my work like that again, like in university. I think for me at this age now, I want to focus on pushing myself forward and pushing myself out of my comfort zone, trying new things, trying to become the person I want to be, which is a more outgoing, more friendly person. I am more shy and more reserved, and I do want to be more outgoing and more friendly, so that's something I'm definitely thinking about as I'm going into this next year of life. And I wanted to share some passages that really stood out to me from chapter 1. One of our chief needs as a creative beings is support. Yes, support is like so important and so necessary because sometimes you think like, why am I doing this? And you need someone else to push you back up if you can't do that for yourself yet, which if we are on week 1, maybe we can't do that for ourselves yet, which is totally normal. It is impossible to get better and look good at the same time. Remember that in order to recover as an artist, you must be willing to be a bad artist. Give yourself permission to be a beginner. By being willing to be a bad artist, you have a chance to be an artist, and perhaps over time, a very good one. That is something that's very important for me because I feel like I don't want to put out bad work. I want to make sure everything that I put out is amazing, and I think that's a good trait, but that's also stopping me from shooting as much as I'd like to. And I have to remember, this is only year 2 for me. Other people have been doing this for decades and I can't compare myself to them. We're at a very different part in our own journeys. So in order to get to year 10, I have to do the reps at year 2, and that's something that I'm still learning. And that's everything that stood out to me in the chapter for week 1. Thanks so much for being here. I'll let you know how week 2 goes. If you're still thinking about starting the Artist Way, it's still not too late to start with me, so you should do it. And I'll see you next week for week 2 update. Bye.